everybody, it's Alyce-Kay Ruckelshaus from Threshold of Hineni and the Widow Ruckelshaus, and we're going to do a few more things in this book before we bind it. We will probably bind it the end of this week or early next week. I'm looking forward to getting it all put together, and then we can start working on a few journaling cards for it and tags and that kind of stuff. But I want to make sure that I finish out what I want to do on the pages first. It's just a lot easier to work on them before I bind it all together. Okay, so I'm going to take off the cover because it's just a little bit harder to work with it while I've got the cover on. And I'm going to try something that my friend Michelle Gregory came up with, and I just really love it. I saw some pictures of it that she posted, and I think it's just a fantastic idea. And I think it's also a great way to showcase some of my late husband's yarn. So this yarn is flax and linen, and if you'd like some on, it's not a big huge spool like this. I mean, if you want a big spool like this, you can order it. Let me know. This is a lot, but I can put some onto a card and sell it to you that way. But anyway, so I have like mega tons of this stuff. So I'm going to use this. What I want to have is a little bit of a fringe from the bottom of the journal, but I don't want it to all come from the same page. So I like Michelle's idea. She made what she called, I think she called them flat tassels. And she just used like different kinds of yarn and ribbon and maybe even some fabric scraps, I don't remember, to make them. And it was just really pretty. I thought that I would just use this kind of yarn, but use a lot of different kinds of fabric and ribbon to hold them in place. And hers were long, but mine are going to be a little bit shorter because they're going to be fringe that comes out the bottom rather than a big tassel. So what I just did was I cut several pieces of different lengths, and I'm going to fold those in half. So I've got different lengths like this. Okay, and then I'm going to get one of these little pieces of fabric or ribbon that I have here, and I'm going to use it across the top. I don't know, you know what? Maybe I like it underneath it. Yeah, just use it underneath it like that. I'm going to sew this yarn on and make a bunch of these little things, and then we'll put them into the book on different pages. Okay, so for this, I do think that sewing would be the best. I do still think that you could do it with glue, but it's going to be a little bit harder. So I would recommend sewing if you can. Otherwise, just use glue, and I think that'll work out fine. Okay, so this one's just going to be really simple and just have some ribbon with it's grosgrain ribbon, and I'm going to have my yarn sewn onto it. At least that's what I'm going to try to do. We'll see if the presser foot pushes the yarn out of the way too much and doesn't work out that way. Like I said, I'm just, I'm not planning this ahead of time. I'm not trying things out ahead of time. I'm just figuring it out along with you so that we can think through this together. Okay. So the presser foot did push it along some, but it still was fine. I want something more in the middle here, so let's get a little bit more of the yarn. I have some cut off here in my little junk box. And let's add that. I don't want the fringe hanging down too far. So, and then I think I'm going to like twist it just a little bit because I'm thinking that might help keep it in place a little bit better. Okay, so then it'll be right here like this. And let's try sewing that on and see what we get. It'll also sew on the other yarn a little bit better too. There we go. Okay, let's see how that turned out. Okay, that's cool. And that's what I want. I want it to be kind of messy like this. It's just going to be a little piece on the page just for some, like, just a little extra decoration. Okay, so that's one. That's really, really easy. Another thing that I could do is put some lace across that. And actually, I really like that. So let's do that. It doesn't have to be cut the same as the ribbon. In fact, I'm not going to have it start at the same place, and I'm going to have it go out past it. So it's not, not too matchy-matchy. Remember that we're doing something that's kind of raggedy. We want it to look well loved, otherwise known as shabby chic. Okay, so that's cool. We could also put a button on it, but then again, that's going to make it more bulky. And with this book, we really don't want to be adding a lot of bulk. So that's one. Okay, then I'm thinking for this next one, let's use a little bit of this ribbon here. I'm going to use about half of it. Okay, and then I want a mixture of yarn and fabric. So this is some of my sari lace. It's from the same sari that I've been using for other parts of this. I'm going to have it hanging down like this. I don't want it in the center. I just want it, you know, like someplace on there. And I think I'm also, wait, let's set this aside because that one's done. I think I want to also add some lace to it. Just a little bit here. And, oh, that has something green on it. Let's turn it over. There we go, that way it won't show. Okay, so like that. And then let's add some more of the yarn. So let me get some of the yarn here. Okay. And let's see if this is all going to come up to the same place here. Okay, and then we can kind of cut any loops open. So it's going to be hanging. Okay, and I think I don't want it to hang down too far, so I'm going to put it up there just a little bit. Okay, and let's see about this. I'm kind of pushing the yarn under, and it's wanting to push it all the way to the end, so there we go. So that's why I had to stop and lift up the presser foot. Okay, so we've got something like this. I think it needs something to go across it. Maybe just another piece of the same ribbon, like that. So it's kind of like a sandwich. I think that'll look good, especially once I've got the zigzag on top of it. So let's try that. Okay. So here's what we've got. That's pretty. Okay, and then let's do, I might just use this by itself. Let's just cut like a couple of these little floral sections, and we can just sew those hanging from the page by themselves. I think that'll be fine. Maybe do one with some of the sari silk. So it's like that. Or maybe put the sari silk under. Yeah, let's put the sari silk under it. Like this. Sew it across it. There we go. Oops. There we go. Okay. Did it sew? Yeah. So it kind of separated it, but I like that. That's fine. And let's do something with our sari silk here. This would actually, that would make a nice pocket actually. But it's not going to give us anything to, you know, any fringe or anything that way. But yeah, let's go ahead and sew some lace to the top of that. Let's get some white lace to put on the top, and then we can have the sari silk hanging down from the page. Either that, or we can have the lace hanging down from the page, one way or the other. So this is probably too big for the page, but we can always trim it when we're ready to use it. Okay, so I'm gonna, and let's figure out what we want from that. Do we want it to be the lace at the top with the sari silk hanging down, or do we want to have it that way? Actually, it doesn't matter. We'll sew it right now, and then we can figure it out afterwards. Sometimes with the cotton lace it gets kind of wrinkled, and you can just kind of stretch it and make it lie flat, and then once I sew this, then I'll put it under something so that it'll flatten it a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just going to sew this to the top, and then we can decide which way we want it when we go to put it in the book. So again, what I'm doing is I'm preparing, you know, a bunch of things to put in so that I can put them all in at once. It won't take hardly any time to put them in. But I've got a bunch of different things. I kind of like it that way with the lace hanging down, but we'll see what looks best. Okay, and then I like this. Kind of like how we sandwiched that with the ribbon on the other one. So how about if we sandwich some of the yarn that way. See what we can get here. Okay. I'm going to have some come out the top. These ones probably not so much. Okay, and then this, yeah, this I think looks more like what we want here. Maybe make another. Okay, so I'm going to cut the loops here at the bottom. So I don't want loops, I want fringy kind of stuff. I don't care about loops at the top, that's fine. Ooh, look at that. I love how this yarn is like different textures and different points. Okay, so we're going to close that up. Maybe just a little bit more yarn so we have some sticking up on the other end too. Okay, and then I'm going to zigzag it. I think Michelle did hers a lot more artfully, and I'm doing mine kind of haphazardly. You can do it either way. Just depends on what you want. Okay, so here's what we've got. We've got, oh, that one's weird. Okay, so we've got this, or we could even hang it this way. Let's go ahead and cut these loops so that we can hang it either way and have it be really cool. Okay, aren't those pretty? I love it. And like I said, in another one I would probably put like a button or a flower or something, but because this book I just really don't want to add too terribly much more bulk, I'm not putting as much stuff on it. Okay, and then how about this? Just like that. Oh, here's some yarn in the sewing machine, so we could actually put that on top of it. That would be pretty. I'll show you when I'm done sewing it, how that went. Okay, so that's pretty, like that. Okay, all right, so that's probably going to be enough. If we need some more, we might use this for a pocket and have some dangling down from it. So let's go ahead and put these on the pages so you can see what I mean. I think this is kind of a matter of taste. You might not like it very much, so you don't have to do it, but I think it's going to be really cool. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm looking for pages that I don't really have anything on. So like this one here doesn't really have anything on it. So let's go ahead and I think I want the lace to hang down straight. So let's go ahead and sew that on. I'm just going to sew it right across the piece of fabric here. And I'll show you what it looks on the other side too, because it's going to have stitching on the other side. But here's what I've got here. And then on the other side it's just got some stitching on top of that, which gives it more of the shabby chic kind of look. Okay, how many of these do I have so I know how far out I need to space them? So this one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but I want to have them work across. Not necessarily in order though, okay? I think it looks a lot better if they're not in order. So here's another page that doesn't have anything on it. Okay, so we're going to turn this sideways like we have been doing. We've already got one all the way on the edge, so I want to move it, let's have it about here. Because like I said, I don't want to have them going right across in the book. So let's do, how about this one right here? That would be really pretty right there. Okay, I'm going to sew it. Okay, and then on the back it's just some zigzag there. And sometimes I'll even take my ink and ink the zigzag stitch so that it shows. So it shows that more. Let's see here if I've got something that I can get too easily. So I'm just going to ink the threads, just barely, and that way you can see that a little bit better, and it's kind of neat. Okay, and then Okay, so let's put this back in and see how that's looking so far. Okay, see, so from the bottom we've got this fringe here, we've got this lace. All right, let's look for another place that doesn't have anything on the page, hopefully. I think that's our best bet. We may have to put some on ones that already have something on the page, but let's first put it on pages that don't have anything. Wow, we've got a lot in here. I didn't think that we had that much. I thought we had a lot of undecorated pages. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we'll put some on this page, and I think we will put it a little bit more towards the center for this one. And just gonna have it like that. Okay. And again, I'm using zigzag on this. Some of these you could glue, but I really think that this particular thing would be better if it's sewn. Okay. All right, so that's how that page looks. It just adds something to the page, you know, so it's not just a blank page, but you still have lots of room for journaling. Okay, and then let's find another blank page. We've got 3 more things to put in. So how are we doing on the fringe stuff here? See how it's all at different places? Okay, so I think we need something that's more on this corner, because this lace actually comes over to the side because it's on a small page, so it's not all the way over to the end, and we need something right here. So let's see what we've got. This is really a pretty full book, you guys. This is, wow. Aren't really, here's a blank page. We don't really have a lot of blank pages with this, which is very cool. Okay, let's put this one here on the corner. This is, well, actually this is a small page. Let's look for a big page to put that on the corner, but this one we can have, I think we needed something like about there, toward the center, I think we said. So let's do that. I think this is really pretty. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And then we have these 2. Oops. Okay, so let's go through our pages and see what we've got here. Oops, sorry, I'm grabbing the rest of them. Okay, so we've got that there. We've got this on a page. We've got that. This is a blank page on both sides. I mean, we could do another thing here, so let's just wait and see. If we need another space, we can put something there. This one doesn't have anything on either side. But I kind of wanted one of the big pages. Let's see if we've got a big page that's empty so that we can have this go all the way out to the corner. We could do it here on this page. Okay, we'll just add it to that. Okay, so here we go. Let's put that all the way out on the corner. And I'm sewing it along the bottom of this pocket so it's not affecting the pocket. So it's right there. Okay. Oh yeah, I like all this stuff hanging down here. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, and then maybe a pocket down here. I don't know, that may actually add too much bulk. I think we've got enough. I don't want to make it any bulkier because when we add tags and stuff to it, that's going to add some bulk too. So that's what we've got so far. This isn't bound, so the pages aren't quite the way that they're going to be, but you can see how, look at all that lovely stuff hanging off there. That is like really, really cool. And then the binding leather that we use will hang down here and that'll take up this space here, and we'll have some beads or something from it. Okay, so that's it. That was really easy and really fun, and I'm very happy with that. All right, I will see you guys next time. I think it might be time to bind it. I'm going to look through it and see if there's anything else that we need, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be time to bind it. All right, and I will show you everything step by step. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's kind of difficult the first time because you're not sure what you're doing, but once you've done it once or twice, it's really, really easy to bind it. And binding the book is one of my favorite parts. So I love you all. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.